If you knew that there was going to be a recession here in the good US of A, what would you do? If you knew that jobs were going to be lost, inflation was going to go up, times are going to get very tough. A lot of individuals are very concerned about the inflation. It's real. They're very concerned about jobs lays off. It's real. But today we want to give you a game plan that even in the midst of what is happening and will continue to happen, you can be financially successful. Again, guys, William V. Thompson, Cashflow You. If anything that we share on today, if it resonates with you, if it makes sense, if you believe that it can radically change your life, subscribe, share, and like. Focus on increasing your cash flow and your cash reserve. Let me quickly define what we mean by that. See, cash flow is the difference between what you bring in, let's say $5,000, and what you spend out, let's say $4,000. Cash flow is that $1,000. We want to show you how to focus on increasing that $1,000 during the uncertain times. The first thing you have to do to make this a reality is you must develop a realistic spending plan. That's right. I know the B word. Some of you all go, oh my God, William. But remember, if you can't control your spending, you can't control your financial destination. If you learn how to master your money instead of your money mastering you, end of the month, you say, man, where's my money at? What happened to it? Because your money ran your life. Sit down and decide number one, what your debts are. Debts are anything with an outstanding balance that one day will be paid off. It's like your car note. It's like your house payment, your credit cards. Get a total, realistic. Also, your living expenses. You have a little bit more control over those. It's things like your cell phone bill, your utilities, all of those streaming services, as well as your food and your insurance. There's a lot of discretionary, or there's a lot of room you have there to reduce and change. And finally is life. You work too hard not to have something for you. My wife and I, we love going to plays at Tanger Center. That's in our budget. We love basketball. That's in our budget. We love traveling. We love dating, eating out. We like buying clothes occasionally. At least she does. But the point is fun. And you put those numbers together, and the ultimate goal is for you to live an enjoyable and a comfortable life. That's a realistic spending plan. Because if you're going to be able to make some adjustments, which we're going to talk about later, you can't make right decisions with wrong information. If you think you spend $4,000 a month, but you really spend $4,800, a spending plan is not going to work. And that's why many people get frustrated. But in these uncertain, inflationary, market volatility sides, you got to be on the one. Create an emergency plan and an emergency fund. You got to do both of those. You know, I remember reading a book, it says this. It talked about how a wise man foresees the difficulty ahead. He prepares to meet it. But a foolish man, he goes on, he's punished. See, guys, if I'm telling you, you already see the handwriting on the wall. You already see people being laid off, not only governmental jobs, but non-governmental jobs. You already see the price of eggs going up and other things like crazy. You already see the volatility in the stock market. And it is my humble opinion that things are going to worsen for various reasons. Wait, see, people say, don't fix it if it's not broke. That is some of the craziest advice in the world. When it's broke, if you see that it's about to get broke, if you see that it's not working as well, what do? You fix it. And the same thing about your finances. You already feel the tightness. You already feel the pressure, the anxiety. So what are you going to do? Emergency plan, emergency fund. All right. Here's the emergency plan. I said before that your financial number in your spending plan was $4,000. This is what my wife and I are doing, and we want you to practice. So let's assume that you needed to get $4,000 down to $3,000. Develop a written plan on how to move from the $4,000 number to the $3,000. And guess what the Thompsons are doing? Take a wild guess. We are practicing it. It's one thing to have it on paper. It's one thing to think you can do it. We are already doing it. So if the bottom continues to fall out, if things continue to get tight, though we have reserve, I don't want to teach you something that I am not personally doing. And that's called an emergency plan. It's like you're practicing before you do it. Then the emergency fund goes back to my earlier comment, stack the cash. If we go from 4,000 down to 3,000, we got an extra 1,000, and what are we going to do with it? You got it. We're going to add to our cash reserve. Guys, I'm trying to get you ready if we have a recession, if things continue to worsen, if inflation goes up. Number 3, guys, you got to cut TED. And you've heard me talk about it before, and here it is. TED is you got to cut your taxes and your time leaks. Your time leaks. You have to stop watching so much TV. Spend that time to research, to understand what the tariffs are doing, to understand what the uncertainty are doing to the stock market, to understand why the Federal Reserve may be hesitant to change the rates. Remember, you must learn to understand before you can undertake it. You need time to learn about cash flow. Second of all, cut expenses. If you have done step 1 and 2 that I talked about, you should already clearly see what you're spending. And even before you need to develop a plan to cut spending. Again, it's a great way to enhance cash flow, a great way to build your cash reserve. And guys, you got to do the third thing here, debt. You have to look at that debt and you have to find those high interest rate credit cards or finance companies, and you got to get out of that. You're talking 30% on many of those. Here's a principle. You should only borrow when the return is greater than that which you borrow. William, what do you mean? If you have a 401k, hear me clearly, and let's say you have $20,000 in credit card debts at 25%, most of your payment is going to them and not reducing the debt. Wouldn't it be wise to borrow from your 401k? Didn't say withdraw, I said borrow. Pay off the credit card debt. Put it in the freezer. Do not use it. Here's a principle. Financial healing cannot begin to after the plastic surgery. You may have to cut that thing up, but at least don't use it. So now you've gone from 25% potential rate down to maybe 4 to 6%, and you are paying yourself back. That probably increased your cash flow several $100s. Step number 4, plain and simple, create new streams of income. Remember, everything's about what would you do if you thought there was going to be a recession. A wise man sees the future. He prepares for today. And the final point, guys, build a financial empowerment team. I read a book one time that says 2 can do more than twice as much as 1. Their friends, their coworkers, their family members that are going through what you're going through, this potential recession, uncertain times. What if you all got together and you worked as a team to come up with new streams of income, to cutting costs, to side hustles, to find the best place to buy food, etc. Don't try to go alone. Remember, if you're going to succeed, you need a team. Well, hey guys, that's a wrap today. Remember, we focused in on if we were going to have a recession. Here are multiple things I would recommend doing. And it all starts with what? Enhancing or increasing your cash flow and building your cash reserve. If anything I've said you like, guys, this is what you need to do. Subscribe, like, and share. And please put something in the comment. I look forward to connecting with you, and have a great day.